today. I wouldn't wish for riches, I wouldn't wish for flashy cars or fancy breeches. I'd wish that someday my son would take my picture and say, that man in the picture didn't fly through the air. He's no superhero, he's sure no millionaire. He didn't walk on the moon, he didn't save the world today, but he's my hero anyway. A kind and gentle man, the best friend I ever had. He's my hero, he's my dad. He's my hero, he's my dad. Man in the picture. He's my hero, he's my dad. Man in the picture. He's my hero, he's my dad. Man in the picture.
We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. And will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them that I won't be long, and they'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Yeah, we'll meet again. I don't know where, and I don't know when, but I do know that we'll meet again some sunny day. So honey, keep on smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. And would you please say hello to all the folks that I know, and tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The service today is live streamed, so if you would all ensure that your phones are on silent, please. My name is Gail Bailey, and I've been given the honour to conduct the service today, and on behalf of the family, and I would like to extend my condolences to Kevin's families and all their valued friends. We are all here for the same reason today, to spend a moment or two with a special person in our lives. If you take a moment to look about, you will see someone you know and someone you don't. People from all walks of life. But it's not what or who we are today, but rather why we are here together and what binds us at this particular moment in time. Today is not only a reflection of memories, it's a celebration of Kevin's life and what he is to each of us. Your presence today here is very important because it is the memory of the friends who stood by Kevin's family during this time that will be a source of strength and comfort to them later on during those inevitable moments of grief and emptiness. On behalf of Marion and all the families, I thank you for joining us today as we farewell Kevin Raymond McDermott in a loving and meaningful way. We would also like to acknowledge those family and friends near and far who could not be here in person, but who are here in spirit and in our hearts, especially from New Zealand, the Gisborne Cuzzies, Patsy, Judith and Frank, Vivian, Margaret and David, also Bill and Yvonne, John and Diane and Richard. For whatever time you have, the length of time you have a friend, you always remain grateful for him having lived and for having him in your life. When we deal with death, either personally or professionally, it becomes foremost in our minds about how important life and relationships are. It's a time like this too. Think of how Kevin has had an impact on our lives. What did he teach us? How will we use that knowledge in the future? What did he do to contribute to his family and his friends? Well, I can say probably a lot by going on how many people are here today. When we think about Kevin's life, there's probably quite a lot to reflect upon. You will always remember him as having an adventurous spirit, doesn't mind a joke or two, was always willing to lend a hand and was passionate about his community service, being in the Lions for 21 years. Kevin wore many hats: motor mechanic, car dealer, a bookie, secretary of the Bowen Turf Club, festival president with the Lions Club, and that's just to name a few. He also enjoyed dancing with the love of his life, Marion. They were together for nearly 34 years and were married for 23. Marion nursed and cared for Kevin as his health deteriorated over the last 5 years. Kevin's life ended peacefully on the 31st of October with his beloved Marion by his side. So our being here today is a support and comfort for each of us, whether members of the family or caring friends. Our collective sorrow and belief becomes a collective strength, enabling us to find closure and to move on without the physical presence of our beloved Kevin. So let us remember his life with gratitude, joy, gladness and love. So as a tribute to Kevin, his grandchildren, Ali and Patrick, will now share Kevin's life with us, his family and his friends. Would you just like to come up now?
Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge all of you on behalf of the family for your efforts in being here today and helping us remember Poppy for the truly remarkable man that he was. For those who do not know us, we are Kevin's eldest granddaughter and grandson. We are honoured to have the opportunity to speak about our grandfather, who we fondly knew as Poppy Kev. Poppy was a loving husband, father, stepfather, grandfather, brother, uncle, son and friend. We know each of you have your own memories and words that describe him. For us, it would be kind, generous, easygoing, with an incredibly quick sense of humour, leaving everyone in fits of laughter. But above all, he was a true patriarch who taught us the value of education, hard work, resilience, and tenacity. Poppy was a man of few words and even less hair. But not to worry, the king of one-liners himself would say the bald spot on top is just a solar panel for the engine down below. Kevin Raymond McDermott was born on the 13th of October 1943 to Gladys and Raymond McDermott. He was the eldest child and older brother to Cheryl, or Nurse Cheryl as he used to call her. He was a proud Bowen boy. He was educated at Bowen State School and Bowen State High School. In his early years of high school, when contemplating career choices, he wanted to become a priest. No one has really been able to explain that one to us, but it turns out that he saw the light and he became a used car dealer instead. He left school in year 10 to begin his apprenticeship with his father as a motor mechanic. 4 years later, at just 19 years of age, he started his own business. But the most impressive thing was how he was able to fund the startup. For those that knew him well, Poppy was always a numbers man. He devised a statistical strategy to increase his odds in Crown and Anchor and 2-Up. He put those skills to good use as a dealer on the train during his time in the Army Reserves. In just one weekend, he walked away with £2,000. With his winnings, he started a Leyland dealership in Proserpine the following week. He'd not even finished his apprenticeship yet. His father loaned him £800 to assist him in his business venture, but secretly, Grandad's motive was just to prevent him from going to the Vietnam War. He was expected to repay it in full with interest within 12 months, which he did.
It was during this time in Proserpine that Poppy met Jenny, with them going on to raise 3 children together, Andre, Raymond and Lou, who all join us here today. After selling the last Leyland P76 in Proserpine in 1974, Poppy moved back to Bowen given his mother's ill health. He worked with his father selling Land Rovers, Minis and Datsuns. Whilst Grandad ran the mechanic side of the business, Poppy was front of house in sales. His laid-back nature was always evident. As the story goes, Poppy once sold a car only to find out too late that the cheque had bounced. Not wanting to alarm his father, he packed up Andre and Raymond to repossess the car, which was now located in Dysart. After successfully repossessing the car, Andre, having no licence or driving experience as he was only 13, was tasked with driving the small manual stick car back to Bowen with Raymond as chief navigator, who was only 10 at the time. Oh wait, sorry, they did have a 410 shotgun on board for support. After Poppy lost sight of the boys in his rear vision mirror, he turned around only to find them pulled over on the side of the road shooting bush turkeys. After throwing their prize kill in the back of the car, by the time they got back to Bowen, there was blood, guts and crap all through the newly repossessed car. Poppy continued accruing assets, purchasing Lloyd's Tyre Service in 1978 with his dad, and then going on to purchase the Herbert Street Car Yard in 1980. Great-granddad finally retired in 1981, with Poppy buying his share of the business. He went on to hold franchises for Nissan, Holden and Mazda throughout his career. His kind nature was reflected in the way he did business. Poppy once sold a pregnant lady a car that turned out to be a lemon. Upon getting the call, Poppy went out to her, gave her his own car and walked home. That was the type of bloke he was, but have given the shirt off his back for anyone who asked.
It was in the late 1980s that Poppy met Marion, with them marrying at Daydream Island in April 1999. As Poppy tells it, he was in the gym and saw Marion in her lycra doing aerobics. He never looked back. They went on to enjoy more than 30 years together, and we were all familiar with the phrase, "Yes, love. Hey, Pat." As Marion says, he was my rock, and they were committed to each other until death do us part. She remembers him as the Joker and a man that touched many people, which is evident by the amount of people here today. Marion's children, Aaron, Teresa and Mandy, are all very familiar with his antics and unconventional advice also, with Mandy even living with Poppy from when she was 13 years of age. Poppy had a number of hobbies during his lifetime which he used to de-stress from the intensity of business. He got his pilot's licence, owning a Cessna aeroplane, Bravo Whiskey November, before moving on to the Turbo Alpha Oscar Oscar. From time to time, he would be called on by the Bowen Hospital to fly patients to the Mackay or Townsville Hospital. He also used his flying skills to do the lolly drop during the Lions Festival, one day accidentally dumping the lollies in the industrial bins on the front beach, not once, but when he went back to do the flyover as well, with the kids having to climb in the bin to get the lollies. He would fly the kids around, and he'd also fly out to Charter Towers boarding school to see the kids. He was a proud member of the Bowen Aero Club and integral to building the clubhouse. Many nights were spent taking micro naps in between beers. If he wasn't at the Aero Club, you could find him at the Lions Club, where he was an active member for 25 years. He did 2 Lions Club presidencies and ran 2 Lions festivals, which we are told are a pretty big deal back in Bowen back in those times. He loved his birds and his bird breeding, owning up to 800 budgies at a time and breeding up to 150 a year. Yep, you can say he was a pretty serious birdman. Always wheeling and dealing, he was a bookie for 8 years. He called on the services of his young children to assist as pencillers at the track, again teaching them lessons about life, hard work and business, all whilst underage and illegally in attendance. He had a passion for horses as well, owning 7 horses at his peak. Paying 66 to 1, his horse Rocky Powell won, and Poppy was investigated for placing a $300 bet on it. Eventually, they let it go, knowing Poppy was much smarter than that and would have placed a much larger stake had it been rigged. He was offered $50,000 that day for the horse after the race, turning it down, certain that it would make him more money than that. The horse died a week later. His humour was still as sharp as anything, even in his later years. A few weeks ago, he was asked how his prostate check went. Poppy replied, without missing a heartbeat, "I didn't mind the finger up the bum, but I didn't like it when he started kissing the back of my neck."
We'd like to make a special mention to Auntie Cheryl. They enjoyed an incredible brother and sister relationship. We certainly appreciate all that she did for Poppy, particularly in his later years. More than anything, he enjoyed a regular cup of tea with his sister. I too have a little sister, and Poppy certainly showed me the importance of how to treat and respect your little sister. Times were tough in the car dealership industry. Poppy was self-taught, resilient, and a formidable businessman, but did so with kindness and generosity. He just loved to work. In 51 years of business, you could count on one hand how many times he took holiday. Holidays at Hideaway Bay were the best because we got to go fishing and crabbing with Poppy. If you knew our family, crab is our favourite. Everyone would be eyeing off the nippers at the dinner table. One night, Mum spent a long time peeling her crab, which by the end of it had accumulated a large pile of mud crab on her plate. Lucinda, my little sister, was 4 at the time and decided to throw her first and last tantrum, which Mum wasn't happy with. I was loving it because this was the first time that I wasn't the problem child. After putting Lucinda to sleep, Mum came downstairs to devour her pile of mud crab, but it was all gone. It was then I learnt every swear word under the sun. "Who ate my effing crab?" Poppy says, "Oh, sorry, love. I thought you'd finished." "I never touched it." Poppy felt really awful, so being the kind-hearted man he was, he went out on the boat the next day and made sure he caught some crabs for Mum and never lived that story down. Poppy was always one to share wisdom with others. To his son Raymond, when they went to see the biggest crocodile at Green Island, Raymond asked, "Will that eat me whole, Dad?" And Poppy said, "No, son, it'll spit that bit out." To his daughter Lou, when she asked Poppy at 10 years of age, "Do we own all this, Dad?" referring to the cars in the car yard, Poppy shared, "We do, love. I'll let you in on a little secret. You can't eat cars," teaching Lou the value of cash flow from a very young age. To his nephew Gary, when you start out, business is like going through a tunnel. During the hard times, the light is really small at the end of the tunnel. But as you grow in business and as you become more successful, you get closer to the end of the tunnel and the light gets brighter. When you come out of it, you know you've made it in business. To his wife Marion, "Don't worry, things will all work out." And as Marion recalls, it always did. We received advice from Poppy over the years. He had hundreds of sayings and bits of advice to give. However, fundamentally, it came down to 2 sayings. In business, don't screw everyone, always leave a little bit in it for the next guy. And in life, never pass the toilet without using it, never waste a hard on, never trust a fart.
Poppy retired at 70 years of age as the longest serving motor vehicle dealer in Queensland after 51 years. It was then that Poppy and Marion retired in Hideaway Bay, where he would see out the remainder of his years overlooking the beautiful Gloucester Passage. Poppy Kev, thank you for being the rock for our family, a formidable patriarch. The tallest branch from our family tree has now fallen. Your legacy will live on through the wisdom, business nous, and wicked sense of humour passed on to those you taught best. The stories and memories will last forever. Thank you.
Thank you, that's great stories. I'd like to invite anybody else that would like to come up and say a few words, if they'd like to come up now. I'll ask Lucinda to come forward, please. Poem.
Don't weep at my grave, for I am not there. I have a date with the birds to dance in the air. I'll be singing in the sunshine, wild and free, playing tag with the wind while I'm waiting for thee.
Let us now take a moment to reflect and remember as the family share with you their life and happy times with Kevin.
To hear your voice, to see you smile, to sit and talk to you a while, to be together the same old way, that would be our greatest wish today. To hear you laugh, to hear you cry, or just a chance to say goodbye, to say the things we didn't say, that would be our greatest wish today. But all we can do is throw a flower on the water, look for the sun through the rain, lay a little frangipani gentle on the water, remember how we loved you. To comb your hair, to lace your shoes, buy some flowers, let you choose, a phone call when you're away, just to see if you're okay. To hear your voice, to see you smile, to sit and talk to you a while, to be together the same old way, that would be our greatest wish today. But all we can do is throw a flower on the water, look for the sun through the rain, lay a little frangipani gentle on the water, remember how we loved you. Remember how we loved you. All we can do is throw a flower on the water, look for the sun through the rain, lay a little frangipani gentle on the water, remember how we loved you. Remember how we loved you. But all we can do is throw a flower. Remember how we loved you. Look for the sun through the rain. Remember how we loved you. And all we can do is throw a flower on the water. Remember how we loved you. Remember how we loved you. want to give. I've been a miner for a heart of gold. It's these expressions I never give that keeps me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. It keeps me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. I've been to Hollywood, I've been to Redwood. I'd cross the ocean for a heart of gold. I've been in my mind, it's such a fine line that keeps me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. That keeps me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. Searching for a heart of gold. I've been a miner for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old.
Today we have only shared a small part of Kevin's life, but I'm sure you will have many memories and stories to share with each other for many years to come. And I hope you will take these memories with you and be glad that you have the privilege to know such a great bloke. I now invite you all to say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen. I'd just like to read this little poem, which is Marion have chose. It's called The Twilighters, and it was written by Stan Hathaway. And Stan Hathaway was a gentleman who lived in Collinsville. Some of you may remember him. In every life there comes a time called the twilight years. Gone is the worrying impatient, gone are the youthful fears. In its place are fondest memories, treasured items that are yours to recall. Years, if you face the reality, could be the rewarding of all. Respected friendships and a family's love, what greater reward could you ask? You've faced life and succeeded, now you've faced the future's newest task. Remember, you've been a part of history, though maybe only a part of the crowd. Respected by all, you are a pensioner, and you have every right to feel proud. So don't dwell on the past, that's behind you. Don't worry what may befall. Bask in the love that surrounds you. Make the twilight the best years of all. Ladies and gentlemen, at the conclusion of the service, the family would like for you to join them at the Grand View for light refreshments, a good yarn, and to recall your greatest memories of Kevin together. We now invite you all, the family would like to invite you to accompany them to the cemetery, where you will have the opportunity to say your last goodbyes. Ladies and gentlemen, may we all be upstanding, please, as Kevin is taken to his final resting place. And could the pallbearers please come forward?
I don't believe in an interventionist God. But I know, darling, that you do. But if I did, I would kneel down and ask him not to intervene when it came to you. Well, not to touch a hair in your head, leave you as you are. He felt he had to direct you and direct you into my arms. Into my arms, oh Lord, into my arms, oh Lord, into my arms, oh Lord, into my arms. And I don't believe in the existence of angels. Looking at you, I wonder if that's true. But if I did, I would summon them together. Ask them to watch over you. Well, to each burn a candle for you, to make bright and clear your path, and to walk like Christ in grace and love and guide you into my arms. Into my arms, oh Lord, into my arms, oh Lord, into my arms, oh Lord, into my arms. But I believe in love. And I know